Tower Tarot card, XVI. The most common or modern name is the 16th trump or Major Arcana card in most Italian suited tarot decks. It has been used in game playing since the 15th century, as well as in divination since the 19th century. The XVI should not be dismissed so easily. X meaning 7, V meaning weapon, and I meaning magician, all of which also have the same meaning. The symbols of the Lord of Time, but of course there is also the Dingir symbol, which as you can see connects them all. This card follows immediately after the Devil in all tarot systems that contain it, and is associated with sudden disruptive revelation and potentially destructive change. Some early painted decks, such as the Visconti-Sforza tarot, do not contain it, and some tarot variants used for game playing omit it. The early printed decks that preserve all of their cards do not feature the Tower. In these decks, the card bears a number of different names and designs. That doth sound familiar. In the Minchiate deck, the image usually shown is of two scantily clad people fleeing the open door of what appears to be a burning building. In some Belgian tarots and the 17th century of Jacques Veville, the card is called La Foudre or La Foudre, which means the lightning, and it depicts a tree being struck by lightning. In the Tarot of Paris, 17th century, the image shown is of the devil beating his drums before what appears to be the mouth of hell, and the card is still called La Foudre. The Tarot of Marseille merges these two concepts and depicts a burning tower being struck by lightning or fire from the sky. The top section is dislodged and crumbling. Two men are depicted in mid-fall against a field of multicolored balls. A.E. Waite's version is based on the Marseille image, with small tongues of fire in the shape of the Hebrew Yod letters replacing the balls. A variety of explanations for the images on the card have been attempted. It may be a reference to the biblical story of the Tower of Babel, where God destroys a tower built by mankind to reach heaven. The tower is sometimes interpreted as meaning danger, crisis, sudden change, destruction, higher learning and liberation. That was 2 verses 4. We are left with higher learning and liberation. The scales of truth suggest the former is the case. It would be symbolic for the danger, crisis, sudden change and destruction brought on by the flood storm weapon. In the Rider-Waite deck, the top of the tower is a crown, which symbolizes materialistic thought, being bought cheap. Food for thought. The tower is also associated with the planet Mars. the alternate decks which grabbed my attention. The Flemish deck of Van der Boer renames it La Fodère, the Thunderbolt. It shows a frightened shepherd cowering under a burning tree, split by a bolt of lightning, while sheep graze at its base. In the mythic Tarot deck, the tower is depicted with Poseidon. Within the Golden Dawn system, it corresponds with the Hebrew letter Pe, and in the French system, it corresponds with Ayin. The meaning of Ayin is eye, or fountain. That would be the all-seeing eye, the flood storm weapon. 16, 1 and 6 equals 7. XVI, by definition here, the Tower Tarot card, the Spirit Weapon Magician, follows the Devil card. But of course, there is more. The Manshiat deck. Although no divination system using this pack of cards ever existed in previous centuries, and because of its allegorical and cosmological content, in recent years, tarot occultists have proposed systems of divination that use the Manshiat deck. In Charles Godfrey Leyland's 1890 book, Arcadia, or the Gospel of Witches, an incantation is given that mentions the use of the 40 cards, which are renamed in the spell as 40 gods who are being invoked, obviously by playing the game. It is said to compel the goddess Laverna to do the caster's bidding. Paul Hewson has speculated that these 40 cards are the 40 trumps of the Manshiat deck. He has also pointed out that Leyland's book, Etruscan Roman Remains in Popular Tradition, 1892, contains a spell that is cast with tarot cards to invoke Janus, the god of beginnings, gates, transitions and time, duality, doorways and passages, and endings. XVI, Alpha Omega. Within the Rochka lexicon, it is written, Janus is he too, doubtlessly, a god of the wind. Grimal has taken up this interpretation, connecting it to a vase with red figures, representing Boreas pursuing the nymph, or Athuia. Boreas is depicted as a two-headed winged demon, with two faces with beards, one black and the other fair, perhaps symbolizing the double movement of the winds, Boreas and Anti-Boreas, or alternatively, a dark and light character merged into one, two aspects of the same god. This also proves that the Greeks of the 5th century BC knew the image of Janus. Gage feels compelled to mention here, another parallel with Janus is to be found in the figure of Argos Panoptes, the titan with 100 eyes, and of course in his association with his murderer, Hermes, the Birdman, thrice great. The word tarot, we've seen it before, tar, to mislead, rot is decay, and the hieroglyph for decay is an old man holding a staff. Just food for thought. Please hit that notification bell to ensure that you are notified of each upload. Share, like, comment and subscribe to support the channel for more M7 documentaries.